Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Eric Rosen for Viking Rising Astrology, your weekly horoscope for October 30th, 2023 to November 5th, 2023. Thanks so much for being here. We're going to talk about Saturn going direct this week, what it means for all of us as a collective, but also what it means specifically for your zodiac sign, for your sun sign, for your rising sign as well. So if you guys want to get into my 4-week group prosperity coaching program that launches on Wednesday, November 1st, it's called Love, Money, and Desires. We're adding desires this time to this prosperity group coaching program. If you're wanting to unlock the places where you feel like you're not fully prosperous and abundant in life, you're ready to make some shifts, that is definitely the container to check out with me. You can click that link in that bio for more information. So here we are, Saturn going direct. We're completing a 4-month period of Saturn being in its retrograde in Pisces. And so we've been doing the homework. We've been doing some karmic reviewing on all the Pisces things, especially spiritually. Staying in integrity with our spiritual path, making sure that there is a spiritual destiny component to our decisions and just the way that we're basically creating our reality. And so now with Saturn going direct, at first this week, we're going to be experiencing the first week of integration of what have you been learning for this past 4 months, right? Saturn has been giving you the karma, reaping what you sow. And so now it's about seeing where you can do better, where you can get the slop out of your life. Saturn's all about that discipline and where you can actually apply it to especially your spiritual life, the way that you can, just show up better in a more stronger version of yourself that's going to be better for your long-term reality. This is about bringing spirituality to your everyday life. And so we really want to pay attention to what we've been learning these past 4 months and really start to apply that and not just, fall into the spiritual philosophy side of things and actually be a little bit more practical and hard-nosed with it and make sure that we're actually making those physical reality changes. So for Aries, this is going to be all about spirituality for you, Aries. So you definitely want to make sure that, you're surrendering, you're letting go, you're not holding on to just like dead old weight, things that feel heavy, things that feel karmic, things that feel like they don't have a solution, they can't be solved. It's time to let it go. You've seen what those things are. Do not carry that dead weight with you any further, Aries. Well, for you, my fellow Tauruses, I am a Taurus rising. You guys got Saturn in the 11th house. So this is going to be all about community, friendships. With the now going direct, the integration is going to be about getting out into the world more. This is definitely not about you being in Hermitville anymore, Taurus, or any places where you've been withholding even like your skill set and even shining and showing the beauty and the love that you are like out in the world because of some weird suppressed fears or something. You've got plenty of gifts, you've got plenty of opportunities. I think you just need to restrict and see which ones are actually going to be the fruitful endeavors for you, Taurus. So Gemini, 10th house, talk about expansion in your career, your mission. This is, I wouldn't call it a full-blown shit or get off the pot moment because Saturn's still got plenty of time left in Pisces. However, with it going direct, the integration, what you've been learning the past 4 months, what can you do better in the career sector? What can you do better when it comes to your ambitions? I know you like to question things, and in your career, it could get a little too wishy-washy and maybe even a little bit like too heavy if you're just like not making a decision. I think Gemini, you've got to go much more with intuitively what the divine is asking you to do now and just say hell yes to that. And remember, when it comes to career, destiny, purpose aspects, like it's the highest expression of what we can do in this reality. And so relationships and health and identity and sometimes those things take a back seat. So Saturn's asking you to show up and glow up and do what Spirit's really asking you to do. Well, Cancers, what can I say? This is going to definitely deal with your beliefs. I think Cancer, you've been maybe there's been some sloshing at times of seeing, what you really want to believe in spiritually, and maybe sort of being a little bit too smorgasbord, collection and just collecting things from different ideologies and things like that. This is, I think, where you have to have more of a determined expansion now, where the expansion is basically just going down the grand hallway of what just intuitively feels right for you in terms of where you can take the world too. This is about having the right philosophy, having the right backpack, having the right gear, having the right determination, especially like where do you want to really grow and expand and make sure that, you know, it's not too all over the place and that it can be a magical carpet ride, but it's like maybe keep the carpet, you know, in between certain boundaries of what it is that you really want to go for. So Leos, this is your 8th house. This is all about sex, mystery, receiving money, you know, that desires, you know. This is something that you've been kicking around a lot these past few months. Reminds me of like playing kickball with yourself, but now you need to go out and actually start to practice and actually score some goals. You need to actually do whatever it is that's unique to you, Leo. You know you want to shine, you know you want to be seen. Of course, this is the house where the sun doesn't shine, right? It's a Scorpio house. But with it being Pisces, I think you have to find the compassion and the reverence for however the journey has been showing up with any fears or, you know, repressed things that have been holding you back from actually being a more stronger, powerful version of yourself, and even maybe feeling a little subdued, and kind of you're trying to find the line between subduing your energy and humility and maybe, you know, being humble, and like where's the line? I think it's remembering, be your Leo energy first, and, you know, whatever's making you feel empowered and feels in that spiritual alignment, well, it's going to take you to a good space. So, well, what do we got left? We got Virgos. Virgo, you're next. Your 7th house. Relationships, communication, weighing things out. Virgo, I really feel like whatever it is that you made a really firm decision on the past, you know, 4 months, I think you have to really look at, do you actually have enough evidence that confirms the reality of what you think that things are, of what you've made a decision on, or is there some bias there, especially with relationships, especially with decisions, you know, where you feel like you've got to do a justice by deciding, and that's okay. You know, no matter what path you take, Virgo, for the next 8 months with Saturn direct and the integration period going into this week, it's going to go into a good space because it's going to take you to beautiful lessons no matter what, that ultimately I think are going to work out for your greatest harmony in your relationships. But, you know, you kind of want to position yourself at least from a good space so that you maybe get where you're going a little bit quicker, and don't, you know, maybe spend too much time doubting the direction that you're going in, and decide based upon like real evidence that you've been collecting and go that direction. So Libras, this is your 6th house. This is about the day-to-day reality, your health situations. You definitely want to make sure you're staying on top of that, Libra. You guys are in like kind of an interesting situation where it almost feels like sometimes health is like taking a back seat to everything else, and that your schedule is like more important, like pushing things forward, and because it feels good, it feels magical. That's great, but remember the basics. You know, remember the basics that, you know, with Pisces being your 6th house and Saturn, it's almost like where the karma can catch up with you if you're not careful, and all of a sudden you're not feeling well, and it's like, well, you're putting magic, you know, into your day-to-day life, but are you putting the magic into you, Libra? Like, are you making sure that you're not putting yourself last and putting your relationships first? This is a very important time to make sure that if anything feels off, go back to just the simple basics of the majestic energy that you are, and making sure you're putting into your body and your sleep and just all the basic health related day-to-day scheduled things that you can think of to get yourself feeling better, and then let the magic beanstalk grow from there, instead of just getting too excited into just the schedule part and doing things. So let's see, we got Sag up next. Scorpio, you're next. Scorpio, 5th house, love. Cool. Yeah. Awesome, Scorpio. I mean, I think that you've been through quite the ride the past few months. You know, maybe you were ending some things in love situations, you know, finding deeper subconscious understandings and like what is really true for you and true for your heart. Where's your passion really at? I think this is a really great time to definitely have a lot of fun, you know, still be responsible, keep things on the rails, but let the inner child, play. And to remember that you've learned plenty of lessons, Scorpio. You've probably felt them stronger than most. And I think that it's definitely a time to go out and have fun. It's just making sure that you're not doing like the escape patterns just to have fun anymore. That actually wasn't really fun to begin with. You were just kind of taking yourselves down a weird cycle of like learning your own weird subconscious lessons, and like that's okay, but going forward, it's like just move the things forward in the reality that actually feels like true love. This is not about falling for false love, false lights anymore, Scorpio. So Sag, this is your home life. Your home life, this is your foundation, making sure that things feel ironclad, that you feel very rooted. This is about assessing blind spots, Sag. What's the places that maybe feels like there is a blind spot where you don't feel rooted, or this could even be, are your roots kind of shallow and you've been kind of comfortable and, maybe passing the buck a little bit to like other things in order to stay comfortable, and seeing where you can dig deeper and be in integrity and do work that actually is going to make your foundation go deeper. This is definitely more of a foundational work. Make sure that no matter what happens, any crazy storms, either in your own mind or just even anything going on, it could even be out in the world, news media, that sort of thing, that you just feel solid. You feel solid in yourself. So it's like, look at the areas where, maybe sometimes you kind of say, oh no, I'm rooted, I'm good. Or you think that there's a part where, you say, oh no, that part of me is good, but it's like, really actually take a look at that. I think those are the places to integrate. It's definitely more about the home life, the family, the foundation. Check in with your emotions. Your emotions are intuitively going to tell you exactly what it is that you need to work on, even if it feels like getting into some of the finer details of things. So, all right, so we got Capricorns. Cap, it's been a really interesting ride, with Saturn so far in Pisces. This deals with your mind, this deals with communication, this deals with your mental outlook of things and assessing the facts. And so I'm actually really excited for you Capricorns, because Capricorn is your ruling planet, and with Pisces being your third house, it's sort of like you can kind of like miff the facts a little bit, like too much, and where things can catch up with you, or or maybe where it's not always as bad as you think, but then like you make it bad, or there's sabotage. Whatever you haven't been, you definitely don't want to fall for shame, Caps, for anywhere that you feel like you haven't been correctly identifying the changes to make in your reality. I think the most important thing that you can do during this integration period is making sure that you're just taking steps forward, that you're actually seeing the practical nature of things, and then you can actually find magic. You can find spiritual beauty, even in what seems like the more basic, mundane stuff, right? This is finding not so much like escaping into Alice in Wonderland thinking to make your reality magical, but more so just like the simple appreciation. It's like survey the environments that you're in, find the beauty in them, find the appreciation in them. If you find yourself judging your environments, if you find yourself, judging the way that you're speaking or communicating, it's like, go back to the understanding of like the roots of that, what's been shown these past 4 months, of where you're actually maybe not able to really advance forward, Capricorns, as you're definitely in a foundational building period, that you can't really go there if you're shitting on, like what's just showing up factually in your reality. It just becomes, a judgment fest of just like what is showing up for you. You guys tend to be a little bit harder on yourselves than a lot of other signs to try to motivate yourself to get where you want to go. But this is where you can't do it without your mind, Capricorns. Like, you've got to be, laser focused and like the discernment of where the magic of the reality is actually at. And you're not going to get there if you're falling into negative mental vibration. So this is definitely the time to remind yourself, like, stay positive. Don't, bypass the facts, but more so just find the beauty in just like what's literally just showing up in front of you, Capricorn. You'll do a lot better because of it. It's humbling, but it's good medicine. So we've got Aquarius up next. Aquarius, this is your second house. This deals a lot with money, sure, creation, relationships. I mean, in terms of what it is that you're creating, what it is that you're manifesting in these areas, Aquarius, I think it's kind of a coin flip a little bit, I think that you've got a really wild imagination when it comes to your skill set and your value of what you're able to do. And these are all very true and valid things that you can do. This is about actually like using those skill sets though now and actually applying them and actually, seeing like what is the production that you want to have. Is it Alice in Wonderland like? Is it more Little Mermaid like? Is it not a Disney movie at all? It's like you gotta be, it reminds me a little bit of the two of rods, where it's like you're facing off and like looking out in the distance. You're looking at the vision that you want to have from your back doorstep, if you will, kind of looking at the horizon. It's like define the journey that you want to have. Like you're not in a moment yet where things feel like it's dire straits and you've got to like make some big crazy radical change, but I think in your imagination, your subconscious thinking, you have to start to really define more. You've got skills, you've got talents, you've got abilities. Some people are probably even asking them for more of you, or saying like, why don't you do more of these? I think a lot of it is defining it more in your vision statement for your life, and actually starting to live and feel more of that reality. And then you'll start to actually feel better and more positive about really anything else that's going on in life, Aquarius. So yeah, Pisces last. Well, Pisces, the spotlight is on you when it comes to Saturn going direct. It's like, this is put up or shut up time. Put your money where your mouth is. You say that you're this, awesome, either spiritual individual, or you say that there's things that you're going to do that are going to make you feel better, basically just about you in general. That could look like so many different boundless possibilities, but this is about actually like making those decisions. This is definitely not about bypassing and relaxing like too much into just because you thinketh that you areeth. This is a little bit more about, sure, you've got the identification of what changes to make in your reality and your identification of yourself, the man, woman looking back in the mirror. But it's entirely different, wild card to actually go out in the world and actually let people view you as any changes and shifts that you're making in that. This is definitely a time to really commit to almost like a more buttoned up business, version of yourself. Because again, the magic with Saturn and Pisces, and really for any sign, is going to come from when you're doing the work spiritually, as I talked at the top of the video, that it will go so much better, Pisces, if you just allow yourself to swim, even if it feels like you're swimming in a different direction than others. At least you're swimming in a direction. Like, it's okay to be a little counterculture, but as long as like you're defined in it, as long as you're, spiritually speaking and living that true identification of that. This is definitely not about being cookie cutter or subscribing to some spiritual paradigm or, archetypal version of someone else you want to be like, or something in your subconscious. It's way more just about you and, your appreciation and strength of you, that it's like, what you want, follow through with it. That's really all this comes down to, Pisces. Well, guys, appreciate you all. If you guys want to get an astrology reading, of course, you can pop into that link in that bio. And also, as I mentioned, Love and Money and Desires, that's starting November 1st on Wednesday. You can sign up for that on the link in the bio. It's a 4-week group coaching program. I'm really looking forward to seeing who shows up for this next round, because this is going to help people kick the tires, light the fires in terms of manifestation, baby. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Take care.